Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Or if you're new to the channel, hello. So today, I got a decision to make. I've got you saw in the thumbnail, my 67 GTO. I've got a decision. Do I want to run, be able to stuff a big 275 Mickey Thompson under the rear wheel well or not? And, do I want to take the time to widen this about 1 inch and then also cut the outer wheel well a little bit, where the trim goes, for example, to get the clearance I would need to stuff this 275 Mickey up in there. Let me flip the camera around and show you what we're dealing with. So this is just mocked up at this point in time. So I've got just that sitting in there. These wheel wells are just kind of sitting in there as well. And you can get a little bit of room. I saw on this Power Nation TV, I think it's called. I watched them, where they did a Le Mans, and they basically did a widen the wheel tub 1 inch with the stock frame. Now they boxed the frame like I did, but they widened the wheel tub about 1 inch, and they wanted to fit a bigger tire under there. All right, guys, so I've got these couple pieces just temporarily bolted in, like I had mentioned earlier. And what we would have to do is slice the wheel tub on the inboard side, all the way around the tub, and then add in probably a 3/4 inch wide strip. And that way it would give us, about 1/8 inch on either side of that when we go to weld it. No, is that right? Maybe 7/8 inch wide strip, and then a 1/16 of an inch when we weld it. That sounds better. So probably a 7/8 inch of a strip, and then, like I said, 1/16 on either side, so we can weld that strip in. Gives us 1 inch. But then everything we got to modify. We got to modify this. We got to shorten this 1 inch on either side, right? This pan here. We would have to shorten this 1 inch and move this more inboard. These we wouldn't have to do anything to. The braces up here from that mount, which is this brace, right? We would have to modify probably the brace if I had to guess. So it would weld, and I would have to weld all those up. Make little plugs, weld it up, grind it down, because that's not where we're going to be welding, back to this, probably most likely in that spot. And then obviously we would have to modify these, new pieces here, because, we would have to, this being more inboard, then we got to trim that 1 inch as well, to where these pieces, attach to the wheelhouse. So there's going to be, and then we may have to also modify the front floor pan as well to fit all this up. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of work, guys, but I think to get that little extra clearance, and I'm going to take one of these wheel tubs out here in a minute, and then I'll show you what I mean about how it fits on top of that 9 inch versus that 275. So hang on, let me take this all apart, and then, we'll set a wheel tub on top. All right, guys, so here's one of the wheel tubs out, and we can see it's wide back here. As you can see, as it goes forward, right, it narrows up in this area, kind of necks down. And that's one of the constraints, that I'm running into, right, with trying to stuff this big Mickey in. Now, the 9 inch here will fit in, and I'll show you here in a second. I'll set the 9 inch in there, and we'll show you the room that, is in there. But when we just go to stuff the Mickey in, you'll see how we run into a problem. And I want to stuff the Mickey in there to see if 1 inch here will net me what I'm looking for if I were to trim this, wheel lip down. So anyway, let me see what we got here. Guys, I put a couple of little chunks of 2x4 underneath the tire here to kind of simulate where I think it would be riding in the wheel well. And if you notice, right, we've got maybe a 9 inch might not fit in here very good, like I was thinking. Because if you notice, she's tight to this side. And then you can see here, right, she's also tight here as well. So try to square this up, but anyway, you get the idea. A 9 inch Mickey is still pretty tight in here. Now this is obviously wider than 9 inches. I think it's more like 10, and a half by the time you go from, you know, sidewall to sidewall. The patch is about 9 inches. So she's tight. So let me set the Mickey in there and see what it does, the 275. And guys, there's the Mickey Thompson, you know, the 275 Pro Bracket radial here. I think that's what this is. You know, basically fits in there. Of course, there's absolutely zero clearance. So that's where, you know, widening this, that 1 inch, it might fit. Don't know. But if it doesn't fit, we can definitely give more room for, you know, a 9x28 Pro Bracket radial for sure. So anyway, let's go ahead and start whacking away, and yeah, let's widen this wheel tub and start hacking away, I guess. There's no other way to good way to put it, guys. We're just going to jump right into it and see what we can do to get some additional wheel clearance in this thing. Alright guys, so I've set the wheel tub upside down, the one that's got the 1 inch wider, and I set the 9x28 Mickey Thompson in here, and you can see, you know, we've got more clearance here, and, you know, I'm trying to hold this steady, right, but we've got more clearance here as well, and I'm sure I've got this a little crooked, but we've got more space in here, you can see by quite a bit, front to back, you know, and quite a bit front to back here. So let me go ahead and grab the 275 Mickey and we'll set it in there. You can see now I've got the 275 Mickey Thompson in here. And you can see we've got a little less clearance here on this side, but we still have clearance. And you can see we have clearance here. Again, not a lot, but we've got clearance. So once we pull that flange, imagine in this area in a little bit more, you know, kind of pull it out, you know, and we cut this flange. This flange here we probably won't cut. It'll probably be the quarter panel flange we'll actually cut. The wheelhouse flange, you know, being this, I probably won't be cutting. Anyway, you can see it barely fits in there. So once we get this on a rim and inflated, that'll be the interesting part. So anyway, now let's do the other side. All right guys, so I've got the driver's side out now, and you know, it's going to be pretty easy right up to here, because this is 1 3/4 inches from here to where my cut is, all the way straight down. That's a pretty easy flange on the other side. But when you come down here, you can see it gets more complex curves and stuff. So this tape doesn't line up right, but what I'm going to do is just kind of take that and just let the cutoff wheel cut this straight for me, and we'll see where this lays, and then we'll try to put our strips in here like we did with the other one, and you know, lay it over and, you know, weld tack it all up and bend it, and you know, put the Claycovers in and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what happens here. The one thing I did want to say, guys, is, you know, right through this area was real tricky, you know, because this wanted to like overhang here a little bit. And so, you know, I would weld a little bit, kind of do a little hammer dolly work, you know, weld a little bit, hammer dolly, you know, to get a nice good fit all the way down. I'm really happy with how this turned out. I was unsure how this was going to work through this area. You know, because it wasn't as simple as I thought it would be, but everything lined up really well. You know, you saw the Clecos, you know, that I used. Then when I got down in this area, I ended up using, you know, big clamps to get this tight, you know, and as I inched along, and like I said, hammer dolly, you know, on the front here as well as on the back side to get the metal as tight as I could. And, you know, we've got a really nice fit overall. So I'm really happy how, you know, both the wheel houses turned out. So guys, I think that wraps up this one. This one's mainly, you know, how to do, you know, the 1 inch wheel tub, how to widen your wheel tubs, whether you're doing 1 inch, 1.5, 3 inches, 10 inches, I don't care. But, you know, I just wanted to, you know, show you what I did for 1 inch. You know, and now what we'll do is in the next video, we'll start fitting them in the car and figuring out, you know, what I got to trim for the floor pans, what I got to start trimming for the trunk, you know, doing all the fitment stuff, all that fun. Anyway, because, you know, as you saw earlier, the trunk's gutted out of this thing, so we're putting, you know, a lot of new metal in this thing. So we got a lot of work to do. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and follow along, and we'll see you on a future video and upload. Have a great day in your shop, and I hope, you know, this gives you some ideas. The only way to do is to learn, guys. So jump right in, maybe start with something simple and, you know, build up your confidence. But this is my first time ever doing these wheel tubs like this. I'm extremely happy how they turned out. You know, just took my time, you know, went along, made sure I had nice, good fitment. And yeah, there we go. Something you can do at home with simple tools. I don't have anything special here. You know, so anyway, thanks guys.